Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
Just makes you feel good, doesn't it? Just to hear that. Just to hear Paul Harvey's voice say those words. It's not the same from anybody else, ever. I don't know why. Just isn't.
I wonder if Fridays have lost some of their luster, though, with the lockdown.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just
yes.
like, it
it's
is
like
Friday.
any other day. Oh, that's right. Huh. There are still days of the week?
Huh.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
Weird.
Okay.
Somebody experiencing that is Jeff Fisher, who's been at home for, I don't know, a year and a half. How long have you been home now?
It feels like a year and a half.
For Amber, it does, yes.
It's only been 43 days. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
It's been 43 days.
Right? Yeah, Friday the 13th into today. That's day 43, I believe.
Wow.
So it's fine. Fine. Don't
So
worry about it.
Keith was just saying he heard some study where 4 out of 5 people say they've grown closer to their relatives, their family, during this time of being jammed in together.
Is that the case for you?
Yes, it is.
I knew you'd say that.
I know it's not the case for Amber. She's probably well past that.
Oh, man. Oh, by the way, Pat Gray Unleashed, sponsored by ExpressVPN. Why haven't you gotten a VPN yet? That sounds a little accusatory, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be at this point, if you haven't.
I actually did.
Yeah.
And,
you did? Good. Good.
Use the offer code, I don't know, what is the offer code on there?
Well, you visit ExpressVPN/Unleashed.
Oh, /Unleashed. Uh-huh. It's a website.
Right. That's
what it
correct.
was. Anyhow, yes. So
Anyway,
I got
you
it.
were saying, good job, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It pings you all over the world, and so they can't track you. I love that. I think that's great.
I'm a fan of using the Docklands in the United Kingdom server. So anyway,
Okay.
it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yep.
So don't give me that, well, I don't care if they're tracking me. I'm not doing anything wrong. If you haven't noticed yet by now that you're not the one who decides whether what you're doing is wrong or not, man, there's nothing I can help you with. So anyway, Jeffy, you and your family drawing so close together. I'm sure the children enjoy gathering round the hearth with you every day. Yeah, I can just imagine what's going on there.
So much fun.
It's got to be ugly.
I'm just glad you weren't on lockdown in that house without a roof. That would.
Oh yeah, can you imagine if that would have happened while you were roofless? Jeez.
Would have been worse than it is.
Or in a hotel.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Good. Golly.
So there's a silver lining.
Yay! I found it. All right. Well, that's my good deed for the day. The rest of it's downhill from here.
Another thing, CNN was just running a story about the challenges of dating under a pandemic, and that hadn't really occurred to me. Being a married man now for 143 years,
Wow.
I didn't even. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That's got to be really tough, especially. If you were just starting out dating with somebody and you were really starting to like them, and then now you can't get together with them. I mean, supposedly you can't get together. Maybe you're doing it anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's what some of the that's what Fauci was even saying, right? You have to take the shot. He was saying that in his interview,
right?
He was,
on Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you feel that that's worth the try, then go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
If you think it's okay to get naked with somebody, some stranger you've never ever seen before, then just get naked and start to sleep together, then go ahead and take that chance.
One thing I didn't need was Dr. Fauci on the draft last night with the little.
Yeah, I didn't need that either.
Right at the start. That really.
I know.
I didn't need that.
The guy's everywhere, and I'm tired of him because he throws a wet blanket on every bit of hope. Hey, Dr. Fauci, can we get back to normal pretty soon?
No, the separation is working. This is not the time to just get back to normal life.
Well, what about casual sex, Dr. Fauci? How about that one?
Yeah, you can do that if you want to take the risk. It's up to you.
Okay, cool.
The worst thing you could possibly do right now is get the economy going again. There'll be hundreds of millions of piles of dead bodies all over America.
But the sex with strangers, that's cool?
That's fine.
All right.
Listen, I don't have a dog in this fight. In fact, my dog contracted COVID-19 and died a horrific death.
Oh, no.
Over there.
Over there.
So I don't really care what you do. I'm just saying, if you don't listen to me, you'll all be dead in a week. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't think dogs could get COVID-19.
Yeah, they get it. Dogs get it. Cats get
Cats
it.
are getting it.
Gerbils get it.
Cats are getting it. House cats,
There
tigers.
have been several dogs. We had the first dog death, a month ago? They announced. Yeah, look that up. The first dog death.
Yes,
a dog died from COVID-19. Look it up.
I'm doing it right now.
Look it up.
The cats have. I don't know that the dogs have.
No, I think the cats. This was the first time cats had ever.
Gosh.
Thank you.
No,
right?
Wait, no.
Oh, you
dog's
didn't.
owner dies of COVID-19.
Okay,
the
that
animal
sucks.
is up for adoption. I don't know if that's connected. First, now
I don't think so.
It did test positive. But first dog to test positive for coronavirus dies
Thank you. Don't test me, people.
of old age.
Don't test
No,
me.
I have no idea why he died. I wonder if it was got hit by a car. But he had
It doesn't
COVID-19.
matter. If you test positive for COVID-19, your death is because of COVID-19. Period.
Even if you didn't test positive for COVID-19, if you were around somebody with COVID-19, you died of it. So
The dog was 17 years old.
And they died of COVID-19. So
Correct.
don't argue with me over there. I'm an expert.
A weak positive. I don't think so. I think he just died.
and these cats, it's just a weird.
Yeah.
Because we were told you can't pass between species. Weren't we told that in the beginning?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, in the very beginning, yes, we were.
Yeah.
Pomeranians, average lifespan 9 to 16 years old. This one was 17. I don't.
Obviously,
think
it's a COVID-19 death. Obviously.
Yeah. Sure did.
I don't know why you keep arguing about it. It was an obvious COVID-19
Just the
death.
facts here, doctor. I'm just giving you the facts.
Don't test me over there. I'm 79 years old. I've been doing this since before anybody in this country was born.
You are the sexiest man alive, I dare say, Dr. Fauci.
Well, that's an accurate statement right there. I'm also the smartest person in America. Nobody can go against what I'm saying over there.
Seriously, when he talks, I want him to clear his throat.
I know, so badly.
Please.
Do this.
Need a cough drop, doctor? I mean, what's the deal?
You know, something that's amazing to me is we were talking about this in the beginning, and they thought since the death rate was so high, you couldn't possibly do this. It would be a death wish to do this. But now that we're seeing that the death rate might be about what it is for the flu, maybe just a tad higher, maybe we should all be thinking like Sweden has been. Now, Sweden resisted the lockdown, and now their capital, Stockholm, is expected to reach herd immunity in just a few weeks. Unlike its neighbors, Sweden didn't impose a lockdown amid the outbreak. They wanted to build a broad base of immunity while protecting, this is brilliant, while protecting the at-risk groups. You know, the people over 65, people who have asthma or diabetes. So that's what they did. And so now their chief epidemiologist, this isn't Donald Trump saying this, this is their big medical expert. He said herd immunity could be reached in Stockholm within a few weeks. I mean, wouldn't that have been great if we would have taken similar steps and not destroyed our economy in the process?
Yes.
I don't know. You know, and then you've got people like our Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, who said, look, would I sacrifice my life? He said he's 70 years old. He doesn't look it, by the way. But he's 70 years old, and he would sacrifice his life in order to save freedom for his children and grandchildren. That used to be the way we thought in America.
Yeah.
That used to be ingrained in our DNA, that our freedom was more valuable than almost anything. And we're just not there anymore. Just not there. People are, well, aren't you scared? What if people get it? What if we get it and it doesn't feel good?
I mean, you're talking about this Swedish model of how to beat the virus. But I mean, can you back that statement up with facts? Can you maybe particularly from LA, from the Hill article recently, where they laid out some facts. I think that was just in your hand, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it this one?
I don't know. Does it say, what's the headline say?
CDC's failed coronavirus tests were tainted with coronavirus.
Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, but
Sweden's lockdown. That's a Sweden lockdown
No, there's
story.
a Hill article. I thought it was in your hand. I'm sorry. But they lay out 5 facts as to why we should end the isolation stuff now. It's done more harm than good. And hopefully we can lay those out at some point today. But
we will.
I think it's one
I got
of those
LA
two.
County audit antibody.
Yeah, it's right after
is
that.
that
Nope, there it is right there.
The data is in. Stop the Oh, yeah. The data is in. Stop the panic and end the total isolation.
This is the Hill. This isn't some right-wing crazy talk website.
Right.
It's thehill.com.
Yeah, this didn't come directly from the desk of Donald Trump. Fact number 1. The overwhelming majority of people do not have any significant risk of dying from COVID-19. The recent Stanford University antibody study now estimates that the fatality rate is, if infected, is likely 0.1 to 0.2%, a risk far lower than previously estimated by the World Health Organization, that there were 20 to 30 times higher. And by the way, in New York City, which is the epicenter of the pandemic right now, more than a third of all U.S. deaths come from New York. The rate of death for people 18 to 45 is 0.01%, or 11 per 100,000 in the population. Now, it's obviously much higher than that for people over 75. Fact number 2, protecting older at-risk people eliminates hospital overcrowding. Mm-hmm. Fact number 3,
that's what Sweden did, right?
Yes.
They said, no, let's put the high risk over here.
Right. Fact number 3, vital population immunity is prevented by total isolation policies, prolonging the problem.
Again, Sweden did it right.
Fact number 4, people are dying because other medical care is not getting done due to hypothetical projections. Mm-hmm. And the 5th interesting fact on this, we have a clearly defined population at risk who can be protected with targeted measures. The overwhelming evidence all over the world consistently shows that a clearly defined group, older people and others with underlying conditions, is more likely to have the serious illness requiring hospitalization. We all know that. Knowing that, it's common sense, it's an achievable goal to target isolation policies to that group, which we should have done. That's exactly what we should have done.
Yep.
Instead, everything's closed. Everybody stay home. Sorry, we don't want you to get this because you might feel icky for a few weeks.
And what, 43%? They're estimating now 43% of small businesses won't make it back.
That's crazy. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's an unbelievable stat. Yesterday, we found out another 4.4 million people lost their jobs last week, bringing the total in 5 weeks to 26.4 million people.
Wow.
26.4 million people have lost their jobs. Just heartbreaking.
So avoidable. So avoidable.
But hey, on the bright side, you might get $1,200 to see you through the next 6 months. So congratulations.
Oh.
That is awesome. Man, don't spend that all in one place. It's almost impossible to anyway with that kind of money. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But hey, at least we have sports, right? And we can sit around and watch sports. We have that. Oh, no, we don't.
We really don't.
But last night there was a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, we'll talk about the NFL draft in just a second here. Cool. Because it was just a little bit of a lifeline tossed to us. Meantime, let me tell you about your dog and the kind of nutrition they're getting. In their normal dog food that you buy from the grocery store, they kill all of the living stuff in it that's good for your dog. The probiotics and enzymes, the healthy microbacteria, because the dog food has to last for a really long time on the shelf, up to 3 years, in fact. They sterilize the food when they make it, and that just kills everything. That's why I'm really happy to have found Rough Greens VitaSmart. It's not dog food. It's a dog supplement. Sprinkle it on your dog's food, mix it in, and it puts back into your dog's food the live nutrients, which are going to help your dog revitalize. Plus, they just love this stuff. It really is like doggy crack. It's they just love it. Take the Rough Greens 14-day Jumpstart Challenge today for $14.95. See the difference in your dog in 14 days or less. You want to see your dog thrive again? Go to roughgreens.com/blaze. That's ruffgreens.com/blaze.
Unleashed.
All right. NFL draft last night. A little bit of a lifeline. It was nice to feel. I mean, they didn't do it in a normal way, so it didn't feel exactly normal, but at least it went forward. Mm-hmm. At least they did it.
I didn't think I'd feel as good as I did watching the clips and the highlights, but it was nice to see.
It really was.
Like we were back into football season.
Right.
As somebody pointed out on Twitter last night, I've never been so happy to see Booger McFarlane.
I think that was not me.
That says something. That tells you something. If you're happy to see Booger McFarlane, when it's time to flick the booger and just get him off our broadcast.
Yeah, I remember he was saying something last night. It was some meandering story about Joe Burrow walking on the field and winking at him or something before a game.
So
and
weird.
then Trey Wingo goes, a very, very interesting story there, Booger. I mean, no, it wasn't.
No, not at all.
You're starving for it too, I know. But
let me ask you this. How did ESPN and Trey Wingo take over NFL Network's broadcast? Isn't that weird?
I think it's the COVID-19 situation. I think they just had to kind of come together there. And
so Rich Eisen, maybe he couldn't go down to the studio or whatever?
Well, I mean... I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
I bet you're right. I hadn't thought that maybe he couldn't go in to because you needed the technology of a studio to do what was being done.
Yeah, and there was a cool thing that was making the rounds of Roger Goodell showing off his basement and where like the guy is going to run the computer and bring him the card and then a cameraman. So I think it was just the three of them were in his basement.
Yeah,
and it was a cool behind the scenes thing. But it was
got a nice basement, by the way.
It is a nice man cave. Yeah. And it was weird though. You're right, seeing the NFL Network guys with the ESPN guys. But you'd think with seven guys on the screen, I don't forget this one point where Trey Wingo throws out this comment. And see, there's no eye contact. You know, they're not in a studio. They can't just play off each other and just be assumed who he's talking to. So he throws out this question, and just all seven guys on the screen just stare at the camera.
I saw. Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
So awkward.
That was uncomfortable. And then, so after about 5 seconds of dead silence, okay, well,
right,
but that's what happens when you do satellite broadcasts like that. Other than that, I thought it went really well. I only watched it till about, I don't know, the 18th or 19th pick, and then it was 10 o'clock and time to go to bed. But it was great to see. And, of course, Joe Burrow was the first pick, as everybody thought. Chase Young was the second. The first 3 or 4 picks went about as planned, and then there were some surprises in there mixed in.
All three of those guys were on the Ohio State team at one point. The top 3 picks.
Oh, yeah, isn't that interesting?
That was fascinating. Nice job.
Kind of shows you Ohio State does a pretty good job at recruiting talent.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Who was the coach then?
Maybe the greatest coach of all time, Urban Meyer.
I think so.
I think he can make. He's got a powerful case for that. Also, at one point, the pick was Derek Brown. I think. Was he from Iowa? Anyway, Derek Brown. Auburn gets picked, and Trey Wingo said, "Now Derek Brown is a man who starts what he finishes." I'm like, wait. What? He starts what he finishes.
I missed that.
Did you? Let's see if we can find that and play it. I mean, we all screw up during live broadcasts, but
of course.
That was an interesting one.
And well, Packers got
a
quarterback.
Are you saying he doesn't?
Yeah, no. I would never.
Well, let's think that
attempt to oppose anything that Trey Wingo says.
Yeah, I guess he does have to start if he finishes it. It's just
starting something else.
Understood.
Once he finishes something.
No,
or
I think he's started.
Once he's finished, he starts it back up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works.
So, what do you think about the Packers getting a quarterback there?
Utah State's Jordan Love. I don't get it. hate it. I don't think he's going to be the answer to anybody's quarterback problems. Now, for some reason, all the scouts are high on that guy. They think he's the second coming of Joe Montana or something. I've never seen it. I mean, we play Utah State every year. I don't get it with the Jordan.
He's going to be
Love
lonely
thing.
on the sidelines with Aaron Rodgers ignoring him all the time.
Yeah,
I don't think
Aaron Rodgers learned that lesson from Brett Favre, who ignored him completely. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Did you want to see some of these fun pictures? You know, it was a unique draft, the way it was all set up and everything. I did not like the silly boxes behind the commissioner of like fans of the team.
Yeah, I didn't either because
so cheesy.
It didn't add anything.
So dumb. And somebody sent me this tweet this morning of the Chargers fans. Look at that. NFL couldn't even find 12 Chargers fans to put on the screen during the draft. Had to put the logo in there a few times.
That's great. It's a good observation right there.
So funny. And then in Tennessee at Mike Vrabel's home, I don't know what's going on in the background. His son or something. People are thinking he's on the toilet. I don't know what's happening there in the reflection.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's the kitchen and he's just wearing shorts. Because, I mean, his sister.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Sure. Because his sister, you know, she's wearing shorts. So it might be, let's go with shorts in the kitchen is our answer there.
Instead of sitting on the
Instead
toilet.
of sitting on the toilet
I'm good
while
with that.
your dad is drafting in the other room. Golly.
In considering the technological situation that they had to deal with, it went really smoothly.
I was surprised, especially with the reports earlier in the week of the test run not going well at all.
Yeah, they had all kinds of trouble, but they really didn't last night. So, who did the Falcons?
You have test runs.
Right, exactly, and maybe they fixed it that way. Who did the Falcons get?
They got a cornerback from Clemson, AJ Terrell, who's.
That's right.
It was a need pick.
Was that 5 or 6, 7?
16.
Oh, 16.
Yeah. So they probably should have traded down since the guys they wanted weren't really available. But whatever. I mean, it wouldn't be the first draft. Thomas Dimitroff was screwed up. Did you hear Tom Brady? The story of him. He's apparently staying with Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers. And so he was going to his house, and this guy was working in his house. You saw this, Jeffy? He's working in line of sight of the door that he has unlocked for whatever reason. All of a sudden, somebody enters, sits down 2 duffel bags, and it's Tom Brady in the wrong house. And this guy's like, oh, hi? And it was a very funny situation. He meant to be next door. The houses do look very similar, but that was a funny little story of Tom Brady arriving in Tampa.
Had that been Texas and somebody comes into your house, Tom Brady would be dead right now.
Right. The Buccaneers would still be in need of a quarterback.
The guy said that it happened so fast because once Tom walked in, dropped his bags, and took a couple steps, he was like, I'm in the wrong house.
Yeah.
And just picked up his bags and left. I'm sorry.
Now, if that were my house, I might have a conversation about a particular Super Bowl, but anyhow, that's a funny little story there from Tampa.
Also from Tampa, not only do they have Tom Brady now, they also have Rob Gronkowski, who just came out of retirement 1 year after he retired.
It's going to be interesting.
Going to join Tom Brady in Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, you think about I know you don't care, but just for a moment here, let's go through the 4 teams of the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons are always scoring tons of points. Tom Brady and Gronkowski down there with an already explosive offense under Bruce Arians. Mm-hmm. You've got the guy who called the plays for Joe Burrow at LSU, now the offensive coordinator with the Carolina Panthers. And you've got Drew Brees always putting up points in New Orleans. Yeah. The NFC South, every game's going to be like 55 to 51. It's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah,
I hope so. A, that will mean there is a season. B, it's fun to see all that offense.
Yeah,
I like that. That's better than watching a 6-3 game. That's for sure.
Agreed.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. It's a free-form, frivolous Friday where you can exercise your free speech, too, if you want. And give us a call about any topic at 888-900-3393. Apparently, there's going to be some changes. At least this is what people are saying to air travel, which, by the way, air travel receipts are down, what, 90%? Did we just hear?
Some cases, yeah.
90%?
Yeah, one day last week, they were less than 90,000 people going through the gates. They've been the average a year ago was between 2 and 3 million people a day.
Yeah.
Usually about between 2 and 2.5 million.
Okay.
But now it's they're lucky to be over 90,000.
Do you know if that's
90,000? That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Do you know, is that U.S. you're talking about?
It's going through the TSA gates.
Yeah, so that is
TSA
U.S. air travel.
Wow.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Well, when you notice driving in on 114 on the freeway here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, we go past the DFW airport. And under normal circumstances, there's multiples of planes flying overhead every single time because we have, 2,000 flights a day. You'd be hard-pressed to find a plane anywhere in the sky right now.
It's funny you say that because yesterday a plane was coming in for a landing and it occurred to me, I was like, wait, I haven't seen a plane flying over 114 in a long time.
Yeah.
Exactly to your point.
Because normally it's 3 or 4 at a time. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. So just a surreal situation.
Yeah.
Then they're talking about, do we have a photo of this so we can show what the airlines might be doing after coronavirus?
Are you talking about like the way they're going to set up the seats?
Yeah.
I don't know that I sent that to Rob.
Okay.
Maybe a few days ago I did. But
Is that the one where they're talking about turning the middle seat backwards?
Yes.
Yeah. He's looking for it right now.
You have the aisle seat, you have the window seat facing the normal way, and then they spin the middle seat around.
And there is like a protective shield, I believe,
around the middle
each
seat.
Yeah,
and
right.
behind the two others. So it's like you have it behind you. I don't if you don't have a way to close off the sides of the middle seat, I don't know that works.
Yeah, that's
so that's what it looks like right there. Look at that.
The air still goes above the shields. Okay, whatever. I mean, here we are. Ought to be fun.
Well, I guess if somebody sneezes, maybe it stops that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, fair point.
I know at one point they were talking about removing the middle seat, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
But then some Irish airline said, "Wait, what? That'll cut our revenue down."
I got news for you. It's going to be a while before you get your revenue back.
Yeah.
So you want to make it, a more comfortable environment to try to give people incentive to buy those tickets, then you might want to take out that middle seat for a while.
Yeah, when things do get back to normal, I don't think they'll actually be normal for a while. Because, for instance, restaurants might start opening up in Texas next week where you can sit down. Would you go to a restaurant and sit down in it now?
Nope.
Like next week. Yeah, right. So would you go out for a really nice dinner with your wife and possibly subject yourself to the virus this soon? I don't think I would.
Yeah,
really?
No.
Would you?
No.
You would, Keith?
Yeah, I'm fine. This whole time I've been fine. But there's this MIT video of what you talk about the new normal, and it just shows people walking down a roadway here. I don't know if we have the video ready, but it shows when you're within 6 feet of each other, then you're green to the authorities.
Oh.
When you're too close to somebody.
That's the new app, right? The new app that they're
Okay,
designing.
yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Look at this. So
Look at that.
See, they're green, but look at that couple up top, red. See, they're too
And
close
the
to each
couple
other.
probably lives together.
Right.
So, yeah, they're together all the time. This is interesting.
And so somebody is on our radio right now. See that couple right down the middle? We need to separate them. They are too close. Why don't you move in? Move in, Sergeant.
Well, yeah, that's talking about the new app that they're designing for that. What happens to the couple that's walking together, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
right now, right? I mean, the authorities aren't.
Well,
pulling
soon
up
there's
and
going to be
dragging
snipers.
them away.
Sniper fire, killing the two people who are in the red.
Oh, I'll make some
Well,
space
they only
here.
have to kill one.
Right, that's true.
They're good.
That's true. Take your pick. We don't really care. Just kill one of them.
Yeah, and there's also an artist has made this 6-foot circle in Toronto. So whenever he goes out for a walk, he can make sure people are staying apart from him and not getting within 6 feet.
That's really
kinda
funny.
Funny, yeah. And you're talking about the new normal. They're talking about CCTV cameras. Like we just saw there.
Yeah.
That the new normal is going to be that your temperature is going to be constantly scanned when you're out in public.
And we had the Google Apple get together to start tracking and scanning people.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Well, a happy Friday to all of you.
Yay! Yay! 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming
Good
up.
start, right?
Welcome. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. From Southside Central. First time watching. Who is everybody on the screen?
Welcome.
Let's see. Me.
There's the host
Pat
right there
Gray
talking.
of, the Unleashed thing. Or Keith Malinak over there.
Hi. How
And
you
of course,
doing,
Jeffy's at home, sheltering in place.
Yeah, what where are you at? Are you in Pocatello, Idaho? Is that where you're tuning in from there, Jeffy? Where are you logging in from?
Yes. Okay.
Very well.
Kool-Aid with a C tweets, wow, Republican governors all around me are opening their states back up while North Carolina's Democrat governor is extending the stay-at-home order. But I'm sure politics has nothing to do with this. Isn't that the truth? From Sir Nasty, I sure hope Fauci cleared his Tinder advice with the all-powerful Cardinal Tobin.
Oh.
If he didn't, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
We do know that because you must clear everything with him.
Did you consult an attorney? I called up Cardinal Tobin.
You did the
Cardinal
right thing,
Joe
man.
Tobin in Newark.
Yep. New Jersey governor called up the Cardinal Joe Tobin in Newark. Again, please do not confuse Cardinal Joe Tobin in Newark with Cardinal Joe Tobin in Des Moines. Not the same person and not the same clout. Okay? Shall not be infringed, tweets Keith. We can't have you bogging us down with facts. The 17-year-old dog died of COVID-19. End of story. Thank you. That's exactly right. From Scintillating Duck, didn't Tom Brady just get cited for working out in a closed park?
That's right.
Now he's committing home invasions?
Wow. Tampa, what have you done? You invited a criminal into your town.
Speaking of Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Rob Gronkowski, who we mentioned, is coming out of retirement to join the Bucs and Tom Brady. He said something pretty darn interesting recently, and I think everybody missed this, except for Martin. Producer Martin noticed this and brought it to our attention. He was on the set of, I don't know, one of the games, talking football during the season with a bunch of guys, and this came out of his mouth.
Did anyone else here have an almost career-altering trade? What's the story behind you guys almost playing the same
I'm
team?
not sure about that story, but I did have a career-altering trade, almost a career-altering trade, and it was about 2 years ago. I was actually traded to the Detroit Lions, and I called up, and I got the phone call, and I was contemplating if I should retire or not about 2 years ago, and I was like, you just traded me to the Lions? I go, oh, I'm retired. Like, I don't know how that trade can go through, and then 2 days later, the trade never went through.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Wow, they're going to trade you?
Yeah, I got traded. I told that story before last year.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, no, I'm retired. How can you trade me? And I stayed on the Patriots.
Wow.
That must have been Matt Patricia trying to bring him with him, huh?
Apparently. Wow.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so much for the excuse of, oh, my body hurts. So I'm gonna retire now because I'm tired of the grind. Instead, he was traded to the Lions and didn't want to go, so he quit. Huh. Interesting. It's interesting, Ivan. Is there a number of people can call? Yeah, there apparently is because people have called it. Let's go to Bernie in Michigan. Hey, Bernie, you're on the Blaze.
That's called a segue.
How you doing?
Good. You?
Yes, I wanted to comment on our Queen Whitmer governor.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Our socialistic governor. She says that there's no politics involved, but yet she goes on to MSNBC with Maddow after we had the protests in Lansing when there was 100,000 came around in cars.
Mm-hmm.
She said there was 150. There wasn't 100,000. She says, well, I'm just going to have to extend it again. It's not politics. It's not retribution. And she said she took a 10% pay cut. A lot of CEOs take a 100% pay cut, and she furloughed one of her employees, and they got benefits right away, unemployment right away, and everybody else in the state is having to wait 2 or 3 weeks. So what does that tell you?
Tells me that she sucks. And appreciate it. Thanks,
And
Bernie.
that's your professional opinion?
That's my professional opinion.
Huh.
She sucks. She's the tyrant that everybody is calling Donald Trump, who, by the way, is leaving decisions to the states. Huh. What an interesting concept. But what a tyrant. He's not telling everybody what to do, but, he's also asking businesses to reopen. bastard.
No kidding.
So many things are wrong with that guy.
Why do we even listen to him? I can't take it.
888-900-3393. Let's go to Chris in Missouri. Hey, Chris, you're on the Blaze.
Hey, Frivolous Friday. I'm so excited. That's how bad this was.
I know.
I know. It's going to be a tough call to follow right there. But Tom Brady, wouldn't that make a hell of a Madden curse if he was on the cover and then walked into somebody's house and got shot?
Yeah. That would have been... That might have been the ultimate in the cursing.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Chris. What a happy thought.
No kidding.
That's a serious Madden curse right there. Not just your career, your entire life has been removed. So thanks for showing up on the cover of the Madden video game.
Yeah. And that would never happen because that homeowner, though, in Tampa admitted during that interview, well, there was no risk of him being shot because I don't own a gun. Wow.
Oh.
Congratulations. Your home is now a target because now everyone knows where you live and that you're unarmed.
A tad stupid to just announce that to the world.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I love these antibody stories that we're hearing now because, you know, the Stanford study, the USC study in New York, they just did a bunch of testing with antibodies. And they found that 2.7 million people in New York City have already had the virus and have developed the antibodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine had we not shut everything down? Again, we'd be like Sweden. We'd be close to herd immunity by now.
Instead,
we're already at herd mentality.
We're at herd mentality. We want the herd immunity is what we're going for.
Now, preliminary results from antibody tests in Los Angeles County indicate that the true number of COVID-19 infections, much higher, of course. The mortality rate now has dropped a lot, according to Barbara Ferrer, director of LA County Department of Public Health. In contrast with the current crude case fatality of about 4.5%, she said the study suggests 0.1 to 0.2% of people infected by the virus will die, which would make it just slightly more or right at the same mortality rate as the regular flu.
I mean,
wow.
Seriously.
Wow. And yet we've probably brought on, if not a great recession, maybe even a great depression trying to fight this thing. Just it's unbelievable. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about Omega XL. Inflammation is probably the root cause of your pain if you're experiencing it all the time. If you got back pain, neck pain, shoulder, leg, whatever, it could be from it being inflamed. It's why you suffer with achy, painful joints and muscles. And if you don't treat it, you could get permanent damage in your joints. Well, Omega XL is really fantastic. Just a tiny little gel caplet that you take a couple of times a day, and it goes right to the inflammation. This is backed by 30 years of research. It's a powerful natural supplement, helps reduce pain due to inflammation while promoting healthy joints. And once you take it for about 2 weeks, it starts to build up in your body. And if you're like me, you're going to experience real relief from your pain. Right now, staying healthy is on everybody's mind, so here's another reason to take Omega XL. Research shows Omega XL can help promote a healthy immune response as well. Got a special offer to get you started on this. Order now and get a second bottle for free. So, in other words, it's about half price for you. For more information, go to omegaxl.com/Pat or call 800-844-4888, omegaxl.com/Pat.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
I like these stories of people who have been out of touch for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever. Like this couple who's been sailing around the world. What a nice thing to be able to do. You know what, honey? Let's take a sailboat and just sail around the world for a couple of months. What do you think?
Wow. At a time like this, especially.
How do you do that? Wow. A British couple said they were stunned to learn the coronavirus had escalated into a pandemic after returning from a trip on the high seas. Elena and Ryan Osborne, who live in Manchester, said they knew little of the virus when they set sail. They knew it was in China, but that's about it, and they figured everything would be fine by the time they got back. But then they get back and they find, hey, you guys can't go anywhere or do anything. You can't buy anything, and you probably lost your jobs. Of course, sailing around the world right in the middle of spring probably means you don't have a job and you're independently wealthy anyway. But
yes.
But I love it. The reason that it went on for so long with them not knowing is when they pulled into port, they said, this one place, they said, so what's going on, but don't tell us any bad news. And like wherever they were.
So they actually didn't.
Down in the Caribbean, at this one place to like refuel or get more food or whatever. The people there, I guess, were just like, okay, well then happy sailing to you. So anyhow, so they continued on, oblivious to what was happening around the world.
Oh, man. All right, we got the Boston Marathon is supposed to happen Monday. Are they actually going?
No, I think this was,
This is a while ago?
This is last, This was supposed to happen in the past. I don't know when.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this woman who crossed the Boston Marathon finish line last year.
Yeah.
Drew up a new plan.
Yeah, new route. Let's do a new Boston Marathon route to reflect the times. And so she used a little fitness app or something
to try to write out in the route of the marathon.
Yeah, 26.2 miles, right? Is that what it is, Jeffy?
Yes.
You're a big runner. Is that what?
Yes, the Boston is 26.2.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
That's why you see the little 26.2 stickers on people's car. The pretentious little creeps. Yeah, you ran 26.2 miles. Good for you. I have a car.
Jeffy, how many T-shirts from marathons have you accumulated over the years with all
I've
of
stopped buying them. You know what?
You
I got
can't
tired
even...
of buying them. I placed the stickers now on the back window so I can, just off to the side, starting to block my view on the rear view.
I gotcha.
She mapped out this route, though, and she was trying to say Boston Strong.
Boston Strong. Okay. Yeah, let's have a nice new route.
Instead, the route she mapped out came out to be this. Boston Strog.
I would totally do that, man.
I forgot to include the last N there.
To her defense, she posted that and said, look, I'm an idiot. Here's the route, but it's not what it's supposed to be. I love that. Boston Strog.
All right. Also, a Jussie Smollett update for you.
Oh, good. He's still around?
Yes, he is.
Thank goodness.
By the way, did you see that Empire just ended its run?
Yeah.
And probably anyway. I think they had one more episode to go, but they just kind of said, okay, we're done. Or at least the network is probably saying that, because they went from a high a few years ago of 17 million viewers. So this show was a huge hit. Mm-hmm. The last episode was seen by 3 million. Well, just a little bit of a decrease there. Nobody cared. And I think this scandal really hurt them. It just really, it ended the series, effectively ended it a long time ago. But Jussie Smollett has had his lawsuit against the city of Chicago and the police thrown out. In January, he told police, of course, January of last year, he was a victim of the homophobic and racist attack. Then we found out, he faked the whole thing. He since has been charged with 6 counts of lying to police in Chicago, and so he just sued them because they're, of course, persecuting him. Yeah. And a judge tossed it out. There have been some good rulings from some judges lately.
Yes, there has. Now, the sad thing about that ruling, though, is it talked about he specifically talked about throwing it out because of the ongoing other lawsuits, which means that, to me, that once those lawsuits are done, he could come back again, which would be agonizing. But I could see that happening.
I would love for him to just finally admit this.
and walk away.
Yes.
Just end it.
Just be done with it.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, I've been lying the whole time. Okay, you caught me. And let's move on with our lives on the Jussie Smollett
And maybe
thing.
on the other end of this, Jussie, there's a sponsorship spokesperson deal waiting for you with Subway, right? Because you're a big fan of Subway sandwiches. You got to have them at 2 in the morning, when it's minus whatever the temperature was.
20 below zero.
Right, I just got to have my Subways. So I was looking up the judge. You said, there's been some good rulings from judges lately. I looked up the judge in this case. This was a George W. Bush appointee.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, man, that's the one thing, and hopefully it continues with Trump for 4 more years. But he has been remaking the federal court system so beautifully. That's where the beautiful part of this term has been.
Beautiful appointments.
He has
Beautiful
done
ones.
what his supporters said he would do.
Yeah, yes.
With the judges.
Has anybody ever done it better?
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so.
It's amazing.
And you think about the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which he has redone. That used to be the most ridiculous, insanely extreme left-wing court in the world.
Fascinating.
He's completely remade that court. And now you see these verdicts coming out from the Ninth Circuit Court, and you think, what? Oh, yeah, that's Donald Trump, right?
Yes.
That's amazing.
So good.
It really is amazing.
Yep.
All right. Stacey Abrams signaling some concern if Biden's vice presidential pick isn't a woman of color, like, say, I don't know, her.
Right. Stacey, come
if
on.
I'm not chosen, it's racism. That's what it is.
Stacey, Joe's just not that into you.
Yeah,
all right. Come on, stop. We know what you're doing there.
Would that be a dumb move? And President Stacey Abrams, what a nightmare that would be.
Yeah, she's still the governor, right? I mean, because she's the rightful governor of Georgia. She's too busy doing that.
It was just stolen from her, as we all know. And the Democrat who endorsed Trump, Glenn had her on his show. I think it was last week, week before maybe. She's stepping down now. Oh, this is the one that...
No.
This is the one that endorsed.
Yeah. So they're
Trump,
censoring
and then
her.
The person that Glenn talked to is being censured.
Yeah, Democrats that stand up and speak good stuff about Trump, they're getting punished right now by their Democratic Party.
Tell you about that in a minute.
It's Friday.
Just a little bit of normalcy returned to America last night in the form of the NFL draft. It was nice to see. On the disease-riddled tundra, otherwise known as Roger Goodell's carpeting in his basement, the NFL held its 2020 draft. Racked with the deadly, horrifying coronavirus, Gronkowski announced the picks. Even as blood shot from his eyes and a burning fever of 127 degrees made his hair burst into flame, Nagurski announced pick after pick until both of his arms fell off.
Okay, why did his arms fall off?
From the coronavirus.
Now we've got that symptom too?
Yes. If your arms just inadvertently fall off,
right?
It's probably the coronavirus.
Then I probably had the coronavirus about, 5 or 6 years ago. Remember me hobbling around here?
Yeah.
Wow.
We all watched it on Zoom.
I'm patient zero. Wow. Did you notice there is absolutely nothing natural about Roger Goodell? Last night he was so awkward.
He was so stiff. It was hard to watch.
That was bad, man.
Yeah, I don't remember him being that stiff.
Because
Maybe it was because he's in his basement and it was kind of weird to him.
No, I think it's because normally he just has to read the picks, and then just stand up there and shake hands and get hugged or whatever and hear the boos.
Yeah.
But like last night he kind of had to captain the ship a little bit. And that just...
That's not his thing. That's not what he specializes in.
It could be above his pay grade. You never know.
Is there anything above his pay grade? He makes $48 million a year. It's hard to get above his pay grade.
I believe Cardinal Tobin is the only person above Roger Goodell's pay grade. as we've learned.
I believe it was the Cincinnati Bengals who called Cardinal Joe Tobin in Newark.
That's
and
what
asked
took
him,
so long.
Yeah.
It's like you've known for months you're taking Joe Burrow.
Well, they finally got the okay from Cardinal Joe.
Man, he's got to return calls quicker than that.
I know.
The busy man.
Let's see. From Mr. Dunn 69. At this point, I think my wife would sit at a table with coronavirus patients just so she could go out to eat. First world problems. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I've seen your hernia. Tweets, from what I heard, Pat and Keith, the only thing that can stop Bronco Nagurski is appearing on a Madden cover.
Yeah.
1984 Florida man tweets, we need an updated version of Happy Days from Pat when the NFL NCAA football season opens up. Oh, there will be Happy Days songs when that does happen.
Mm-hmm. I think there might be a Happy Days song when something like, I don't know, Major League Soccer comes back. Anything returns, we're going to be celebrating.
I'd take college lacrosse.
The NHL wants to return.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they've got
college
that.
lacrosse. The NHL wants to come back with a four-city plan they're looking at. I mean, they're all trying to stay alive.
What four cities? Anybody know what cities
Edmonton.
All right.
Minneapolis.
They do not.
Carolina, and I don't know that they've named the fourth one yet.
Carolina's a state. That's not a city. But somewhere in Carolina, they'll play NHL hockey.
The Carolina Hurricanes, Pat.
Okay, yeah.
Minnesota Wild, Edmonton Oilers, and we don't know the fourth one. I don't know how they're going to... They're talking about picking up the schedule where it left off, is my understanding. Yeah. So I don't know if you have to shuttle between these cities and how they're going to do that.
How much of the NHL season is left?
About 3 or 4 weeks, roughly.
Oh, yeah, you could do that.
And then the playoffs. So they're thinking, like remember Gretzky said, July, August, September to finish this up.
You could probably
3 games a day.
Uh-huh.
3 games a day. The cities have to have the arena and the practice facility. Then I think they could pull it off. So, okay.
I mean, the problem is the Stanley Cup playoffs take 2 months to get through. So that's
really
almost 2 months.
They're that long?
A long time.
About 7 weeks, probably.
Wonder if they could shorten that to best of 3 series or something.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, do we shorten our series when we play out here in the hallway? No, we do best of 7.
We do not.
Which, by the way, yesterday, if you go to youtube.com/Pat Gray, you can follow along with our Isolation Olympics that Pat and I do. We're currently in the throes of a toss the football into a dumpster series, which, of course, is a popular pastime in America. And yesterday, we entered the game 3 of the latest series, tied 1 game apiece, and there was a controversial finish, I believe, where I tossed the ball. It definitely was going in.
It was bouncing out of the dumpster.
It did not touch Daniel. He grabs it there. Pat says, no, don't.
That's headed out. That is clearly headed right out of the dumpster.
He never touched it.
Oh my gosh.
He even admits. He even says that he didn't touch it. Daniel, did it touch your chest before it bounced back into the dumpster, sir?
It didn't bounce back into the dumpster.
It did not, he says.
It was coming out. He touched it.
What do you mean? What does that?
See, look at that. It's on its way out, and he caught it.
It didn't.
It's on its way out, and he caught it.
It's on his way out. It's on its way into the dumpster when he catches it. The first time he makes contact with it, it's going into the dumpster. You had just said on the tape that as long as it ends up in the dumpster, even if it hits the ground first, it counts. And first of all, it didn't even touch him.
But it didn't go back into the dumpster, did it?
Oh, my gosh.
Didn't go back into the
Pat
dumpster.
leads.
Didn't touch him. He caught it.
2 games to 1 as I continue to play this series.
If you're going to be a crybaby, let's just redo it. We'll redo it. I'm confident enough.
Crybaby.
Do it.
I'm stating fact. Anyhow, no, I want to come back. Pat leads 2-1. And this will be a...
all right. Oh, then I don't want to hear this at the end when I win again and hear, well, that was cheating at the 3rd game.
No, I've
offered to redo.
I've said my piece.
All right.
You've admitted that it was going to go in.
No, I didn't.
I know. I just wanted to see if you're listening to me right now. But follow along, youtube.com/Pat Gray.
All right. Speaking of sports, here's a weird one. Ping pong players... using their heads like it's soccer.
Who tagged me in this? Thank you so much.
Little soccer ping pong.
I mean, this is intense.
I thought this was going to be with a ping pong ball. No. It's a little less impressive, but still pretty cool.
That's incredible.
Whoa!
It's a little less impressive.
No! You know what that is?
What?
CGI.
Look at this.
Wow, that is.
Pat, that's our next
if
round.
They were using a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
That's the next.
If they were using a ping pong ball. It wouldn't.
It
have
would.
been CGI.
Yeah.
With a soccer ball.
But
Clearly less impressive.
Okay, so we need to find whatever kind of ball that was and a ping pong table, and that'll be our next series, Pat, right out here in the hallway.
How do you even think of that?
That was insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we'll tweet that out. So you
Show
guys
me
can
that
see
again, because that is really, that's amazing. Because that's a long rally. Look at this. No, these guys have done this a lot.
What are we at? 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm up to 14.
14? Yes. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20.
Nice.
21.
24.
My gosh.
That's over 2 dozen volleys
great.
between their noggins. That was so good.
That is
Clearly, though.
amazing.
CGI, right?
Less
Jeff?
impressive
CGI.
because it wasn't ping pong.
Right. It is. It's a little less impressive. Come on, if that was a ping pong ball, wouldn't that have been amazing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. You're right. You know what? Just edit that out of the show when we post it later. That was crap.
Yeah, it's just stupid now. Now it's not even an accomplishment. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Something else that was kind of interesting that's making the rounds on the internet is this reporter who had to dodge lights that came crashing down during her report. It looks like if these had fell on her, it wouldn't have killed her probably, but certainly would have drawn blood.
Yeah, wouldn't have felt good.
No, it would not. Watch what occurs during a report.
Before you start lifting restrictions.
It's really remarkable, Andrea, and the Attorney General is in some ways
Pause it for a
echoing
second.
what we've heard.
First of all, have you seen any reporters do their report with a mask before?
Nope.
I don't think I've ever seen
Yes,
this.
I was just.
You have?
We're starting to see that now more and more. We have to stop that.
Come on.
All right, that's
We
symbolic.
have to stop.
That's all they're doing. That's
Right.
symbolic.
We're setting a good example for Americans.
There's nobody standing near her within 6 feet.
Yes.
We're
Stop.
the elite people, and we want the little people to understand you should be wearing a mask when you're out in public. Here it is. Watch the rest of this.
From President Trump himself at the podium during his daily briefings when he said that some
It's
of
windy.
these governors he feels
Really windy.
have gone too far. When he tweeted out, for example, Andrea, that the states like Virginia, Michigan, and Minnesota should be liberated, essentially siding with the protesters, as you say, and going against his own policies. So it is quite remarkable. It's not exactly clear.
Whoa!
Whoa! Windy out here, Andrea. The Attorney General was talking about and what specifically they would be able to do. We're okay. It's okay, Andrea. They fell in front of me, so it's okay.
Andrea's terrified for her.
Yeah, she actually handled it really well. She didn't miss a beat.
I'm sorry. I thought
It's
you were being
okay,
hit by
Andrea. They
those lights.
fortunately fell in front of me.
She won't let it go.
They fell in front of me, so we're okay. But
Andrea,
one other
let it
thing I'll
go.
say, we do have a little bit of
trying to
breaking
do a
news,
report.
Andrea. At this hour, my colleagues Monica Alba, Carol Lee, and myself reporting that President Trump himself quite eager to get out of the White House. He's looking at the possibility, his aides and allies, of having him travel as early as May 4th that week. That's, of course,
Nobody
not
knows what she
etched in
said.
stone, but they're looking to see if that would be possible. He would potentially, in some of these
This
early
is
trips, meet with
ridiculous.
first responders, meet with some of those.
Okay, all of
who've
this is
been
fine,
impacted.
Kristen, but what about those lights that just fell?
Yeah.
What about the lights? Lights just fell. Did you see that?
Yeah, and that's what she says after that. She's like, all right, you said something about the president leaving. I don't know, whatever. The lights.
The lights, but what about the lights? You were nearly killed there, Kristen. What about those lights? Who's doing that? Is Donald Trump off camera right now pushing those lights down, trying to kill you with those lights? This president has blood on his hands. He almost had your blood on his hands.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, would that surprise anybody if they took it that direction? No, I don't think so. All right, Pope Francis making an impassioned plea for protection of the environment.
Oh, gosh.
The 50th anniversary of Earth Day the other day. He praised the environmental movement. Wow. Saying it was necessary for young people to take to the streets to teach us what is obvious. That is, that there will be no future for us if we destroy the environment that sustains us. Wow.
Yeah. What did he also say? That nature will not forgive us.
Yeah. We see these natural tragedies, which are the Earth's response to our maltreatment. He said, I think that if I ask the Lord now what he thinks about this, I don't think he would say it's a very good thing. It is we who have ruined the work of God. I think he would say, don't worship the creation, please. Worship the Creator.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is above the Pope's pay grade, but maybe we should ask Cardinal Tobin. I thought the guy who forgives you, not the planet, but God.
Right.
But again, I mean, it's only the Pope talking. Good grief, this guy is something else.
Also, I think that the Lord would say, you can't ruin my work. It's impossible for you to ruin what I have created. I mean, he expects us to do what we can to protect the environment. He expects us to be good stewards of the planet. We shouldn't be purposely trying to pollute it. But you can't ruin or subvert the Lord's work. And by the way, nature, who won't forgive us our sins, nature's not the judge of us. Okay?
But again,
wow.
It's not like the Pope said that.
Right, yes.
Come on.
Except it is.
Except it is, yeah.
But what, again, as you brought up, Keith, what does Cardinal Joe Tobin have to say about it?
Did you consult an attorney?
No,
I called up Cardinal Tobin.
Of course.
Cardinal Joe Tobin in Newark.
That is so good.
That's one of my favorite clips of all time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Consult anyone? I called up Cardinal
Joe Tobin. Like,
Duh.
that's the most natural thing in the world.
Duh.
Well, of course you did, Governor. Of course you did. All right, let me tell you about a new sponsor we're happy to welcome to the show, the Classic Learning Test, also referred to as the CLT exam. See, because it's Classic Learning Test, CLT.
Oh.
It makes a lot of sense.
Now I get it.
It really does. It shows you these people are educators. The SAT and the ACT. SAT developed by the College Board, just a horrendously progressive group of people that tries to indoctrinate our high school students. And right now, in fact, you can't take those tests anyway because you can't leave your home and go to a place where people gather. That's not a problem if you use the CLT. A lot of parents and students in America still don't know about the CLT as another option, but it's a great one, especially now during the pandemic. The Classic Learning Test has been used by tens of thousands of students, hundreds of colleges, and it provides the most accurate and rigorous measure of academic formation. And better tests make better students. It's just a fact. You can do this online. To register for the April 25th official college entrance exam or the April 29th CLT 10, visit cltexam.com. That's cltexam.com. Both of these exams can be taken in the comfort and privacy of your own home. That's cltexam.com. Iron Man. Doesn't sound anything like Iron Man.
You should write those lyrics down. That might work with that music.
I don't think so.
Just write it down. You might get back to it later.
We'll see. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I was reading an article the other day, and the headline was, Sam Smith says they definitely had coronavirus but didn't get tested. And I'm thinking, like, okay, Sam Smith said they had. Who's him and his husband? What? No. He and himself. Sam Smith. This is from an iHeartRadio article. Sam Smith says they definitely had coronavirus. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Sam Smith is opening up. This is unbelievable to me. I can't even read the sentences.
We had an article about when he decided to go down that road.
Yeah, I remembered that after I saw they for the third time. And I was waiting for the other person to join the conversation, and they never did.
Like, who wrote this article? Go to journalism school.
So listen to this. Sam Smith is opening up about their experience with what they believe was COVID-19. During a recent FaceTime interview, Smith admitted that people, despite not testing positive for the highly contagious novel disease, they came down with all the symptoms exclusive with the virus. And then he says, I didn't get tested, but I know I had it. Why aren't you referring to yourself in the plural like the story is doing?
Did he screw up? Did he
I guess so. I don't know. Then there's this sentence. They revealed, and then as soon as I had it, my sister, like 5 days after me, started getting the same symptoms. So me and her just isolated for like 3 weeks.
Wait, us and her.
See,
he screwed up. Either the quote was written poorly or incorrectly, or Sam Smith isn't following his own rules.
He's not consistent. I'm so amazed. I don't know that I've ever seen this in an actual article before that was supposedly written by journalists. Is that insane or what?
They're just agreeing to his wishes, which is
stupid. His personal pronouns are they and theirs. Okay. All right. We'll go along with that.
This is the society that we want back, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we're
trying to get back to this. Just to put things into perspective for you this morning.
Help us.
Got some tweets here from the Clinton's assassin. Oh, we're finally hearing from the person who has killed over 400 people.
Oh, no.
How many female politicians die of COVID before Hillary is announced as Joe's VP?
Right.
Got an over-under? Asking for a friend. From Keith Milibron, Goodell was just bummed that he didn't get the long and awkward hugs from people.
I bet he missed those.
He did say he was going to miss those.
Yeah.
Jeffy's exponential weight gain.
Oh, wow.
Increasing exponentially. The top 1% and 2% have done exponentially better.
Right. Yeah. So, Pat, is that video of you and Keith playing dumpster football CGI? No, because it's not incredible enough.
Okay.
It's got to be, somewhat interesting in order to make it CGI.
YouTube.com/Pat Gray. Click to subscribe and get notified.
From Lone Wolf, there's no crying in Corona Lockdown Olympics. Thank you. Exactly right. Thank you.
It was a protest, not crying.
From, Stu's going to join us in just a few minutes. We're going to discuss the draft last night. I suppose he probably wants to talk about who the Philadelphia Eagles selected.
Yeah, and
that'll be great.
Won't it?
A special guest on his show tonight, Stu Does America. I can't wait to find out who that is.
Somebody named Pat Green or something.
Pat Green?
Yeah.
I think it's Pat Orange.
How long are they going to be on?
I think they're going to be on for about 15 or 20 minutes, something like that.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Pat Green. Okay.
So we're making an appearance on each other's shows today, which should be fun.
Aw, that's neat.
Meanwhile, people are spending the quarantine in whatever way they possibly can. For Keith and I, it's the Quarantine Olympics. For these people, it's a quarantine stuntman activity.
Oh,
This is kind of fun. Check this out. Jeez. That's amazing. We tweet that out?
Yep, we'll tweet it out, and it'll also be at youtube.com/Pat Gray later.
Quarantine fun for you. All right. Great to have you with us today, by the way. Joining us, of course, Jeffy from his bunker, wherever he lives. I don't know, South Hell. South Central Hell,
Yes.
I think, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes.
And joining us from Stu Does America, as well as some other show that's coming up in a few minutes. Welcome, Stu.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So the NFL draft, did you watch last night?
I did. I was
Stupid question, right?
completely obsessed with it,
Oh, me too.
as any sports fan would be, because we have had nothing. Did you see that Adam Schefter got in trouble because he tweeted something to the effect, I think, which everybody kind of tweeted yesterday, which was, finally we have a sporting event to watch, like a real sporting event. And he said something like, it's been 6 weeks since we've had a real sporting event. I'm really excited for tonight. And
that was too much?
That was offensive because he got in trouble. Apparently, the WNBA draft also occurred in that time. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about it. I apologize. I forget it." Like, look, no one, the people who got drafted don't care about the WNBA draft.
That's for sure.
None of them care.
Seriously, I didn't even know that happened.
I didn't know it happened either. And again,
no idea.
I'm starving for sports. I've legitimately considered watching like the Madden simulation tournaments that have been airing. I like the horse thing. In the NBA where they're playing horse in each other's driveways. I was like, it could be kind of good.
Yes.
I'm desperate. And the WNBA draft, I didn't even know about it.
Nor do I want to know about it. I'm not even curious enough to look it up now.
No.
So, anyway, who'd the Eagles get last night?
Very excited. Jalen Reagor. He's like the star wide receiver for TCU.
Okay.
Here. And I'm sort of as you know, I have a bizarre rooting interest. As a Philadelphia Eagles fan and a Toronto Blue Jays fan, there's not a lot of local connections here. So kind of, I was like, well, I don't really have a college team. I should pick a college team that me and my son can root for. So we kind of adopted TCU as our team. I'm not like a big college football guy like that. Though, like I'll watch the games, but I'm not obsessive about it. But I've only been to one TCU game since we've lived down here. And I went to it was a couple of years ago, and Jalen Reagor, it's like their star player, has 151 yards rushing and like 91 yards, or 121 yards rushing and 91 yards receiving in the game, touchdown. He's like dominated. It was against Oklahoma State, I think, and he was just dominating. And so he he looked unbelievable. I remember thinking this guy's going to be a top 10 pick. And last year they changed quarterbacks, didn't apparently work out all that well. So all their production dropped and they did not have a good year. And so he dropped in the draft. And, number 21, they get a guy who in his pro day ran a 4.22 40. 4.22.
No way, really?
Yeah, and it's on film too. Like they have it on tape.
I thought Henry Ruggs was amazing at what was his
4.27.
Yeah, one of them was 4.23, and then I think the official time was 4.27.
Okay,
which is just blazing fast. 4.22 is like unheard of.
Yeah, so that was the pro day one was 4.22. He ran.
I'd be excited about that guy too.
I'm pretty excited. He looks ridiculous. So I'm excited about that one. There was a big thing though here locally because one of the big wide receivers was CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma, who slipped all the way to the stupid Cowboys. And so the Eagles fans are very upset they did not trade ahead of the Cowboys to get him. I'm okay with it, though. I'm pretty excited they got Reagor, and I don't even understand the pick from the Cowboys' perspective. It's like he's a talented guy, but they're pretty set. They were pretty set at wide receiver. It's like one of the positions they seem to be really locked up. They just spent a lot of money on the position, so I don't exactly understand it. But when you can get a really talented guy late and for value, I guess you pull the trigger on that.
I think that's what happens when Jerry Jones gets to draft by himself, alone in a room.
Yeah.
Away from Steven
on his
and all
boat.
The other. Yeah,
on his boat.
Was he on a boat?
He's on his boat. Yeah. Did I tell you I was?
Oh my gosh!
When we were down in Miami this past Super Bowl, he brought his boat there.
Yeah.
And I was on a much smaller boat that passed his boat.
Yeah.
His boat is like a city. It's like a floating city. It looks kind of like a spaceship. It's like he must have spent. I mean, we looked it up at the time.
It's $150 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be. I mean, so apparently he was drafting on the boat. I'm like, what kind of balls do you have? You're making your pick on a boat. You're counting on boat internet for your pick right here. Like that's you're really wealthy when you're like, yeah, the boat internet will be fine. Like I can't get the internet in this building to work. We work at an internet company.
I know. It's amazing. And was the woman sitting away from him? Was that his wife?
Wife? I think someone said to me girlfriend. I don't know.
Girlfriend?
Is he I don't know. I could be wrong on
My
that.
son was like, she's really young.
Yeah, this is what happens
like it,
when you've got multiple commas in your net worth.
That's right.
It starts getting that way.
Even if you're 80, you still get the nice-looking babes who are about 30, so it's not a problem.
Wait, to me, though, the biggest story of the entire draft was the Green Bay Packers. What on earth are they doing?
I don't know.
This? Oh, I don't understand that at all.
To me, I mean, I know a lot of experts are high on him. I'm not. That's not a good pick at all.
That is exactly how I felt about it. First of all, Rodgers still has probably 3 years.
At least.
I mean, at least. He's 36, but I mean, he still looks great.
He could go to 40, 41.
Yeah, and you think at least he's signed for another 3 years.
Yeah.
and they're spending like $40 million a year on the guy. What are you going to do with this, with a backup who, I mean, everybody says is a project anyway? That is a
terrible move.
Maybe you'd say the same thing.
Like, shore up that defense. It's a little bit porous.
Or get him a skill player.
Maybe a good wide receiver or something like that.
And Rodgers, for as great a player as he is a head case anyway.
Right.
Can you imagine what he's going to be like after this?
He's
going to be a
pissed.
nightmare.
Right. Yep, definitely.
Nightmare.
Definitely.
So I didn't think you'd like that one very
No,
much.
I did not.
No.
First of all, Utah State. I mean, they're not godless animals like at Utah, but
bad enough.
Close, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
they're very close. They're just the next rung up.
I think that was Jerry Jones' daughter, I think. I don't know for sure.
Daughter?
But don't do a Google image search for Jerry Jones' girlfriend.
That's never a good idea.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But the other thing was they were kind of social distancing, weren't they? Because she was almost off camera.
Yeah.
And then she kind of came over and went, like after they made the pick, like, hey, good job. Well, I can't touch you. So I don't know what they're doing there. I don't know who that was or what was going on, but it was interesting.
How did you guys feel about what's his face, the coach of the Cardinals, and his setup? Did you see this? He's got this multi-million-dollar house in Arizona, and Kingsbury. And so he's sitting there like by himself, he plays up how sexy he is to such an irritating extent. So he has the camera positioned. So it's him, and then these huge open windows with the beautiful scenery, the pool,
really nice,
like the
really nice.
He has like this one of those. Like a pattern of whatever it is, like paver stones, and then like all the beautiful grass in the middle of it. Like the guy, is just doing nothing but showing off. Like he's trying to be the coolest guy in the universe.
When everybody else was kind of downplaying their wealth, because that they're in mansions, all of them.
Oh, Andy Reid looked like he was like in the bathroom of McDonald's. He's like, I love that.
Tampa, Bruce Arians. I mean, was that a card table he had set up in his living room?
Arians has one of those tables you put behind your couch, like holding television monitors as he's doing the draft. Kingsbury looks like he's a billionaire.
Yeah. I see the Cliff Kingsbury thing.
I should have said to the head so you could show the picture. I mean, it is. It looks really nice. And of course, as soon as he's on there, we're at that point now where every piece of your personal life is everybody else's business. So everybody's posting the Twitter link to like the Zillow page of this guy's house. You can just tour through the entire thing.
I mean, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Did you see that it might have been the Tennessee coach, Mike Vrabel's son, possibly on the toilet?
Yeah. That one is interesting because I think absolutely. If you didn't see this, Vrabel, he's got one guy, I don't know who is his son or whatever. One's like dressed up like a superhero. Another one's dressed up as Joe Exotic. And then, here you go. In the background, you see, it does look like the reflection that he's going to the bathroom.
But he can't be, right?
But again,
his sister or somebody's there.
Yeah, they said, he said afterwards, oh no, he was just sitting on a stool and it looks that way. Though, he's obviously doing a bit, right? Like I think they may very well have.
Oh, okay.
Because the whole rest of the setup, he's joking.
Okay.
So it may very well be that they put him there intentionally to make it look like. I mean, why would he be doing it with the door open? I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I think they may have done it intentionally to look like he was doing this. Either way, it was kind of funny. I mean, it was interesting. No tech problems.
Yeah.
I can't get on through one
really
freaking
well.
Zoom call in my work life
I know.
without the whole thing crashing and no one can hear anybody. And the NFL pulls off an entire draft with no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, kudos to them.
That's pretty impressive.
When you have a $10 billion a year business, you're able to, secure some pretty decent technology, apparently.
Yeah. And what are the ratings going to be on this thing? I mean, I think they had
the roof.
11 million people watched it last year. So how many this year? Everybody I know who even has a passing interest in sports showed up to see these executives read names, which is, again, not an interesting thing for most people, but I loved it.
It's not, but they made it fairly interesting and entertaining and compelling.
They did a pretty good job
I thought
with
they did
it.
a good job with what was available. You can't have any crowd there. Nobody's in the studio with you. Everybody's on monitors. That was a pretty decent job.
And Goodell did a decent job playing up the booing thing. Did you see his commercial where he was, he had everyone booing him and like kind of as a tradition, which I thought was a smart way to play it up.
It was.
Yeah, charity type thing too. If you do hashtag boo the commish or something. Yeah,
that was smart.
It was.
They did a good job. And normally, am I going to sit there obsessively watch rounds like 5 through 7? Probably not. This year, maybe so. I may be doing it. What else are we going to do, right?
It also gives you a chance to see everybody's home, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Kind of fun to see that Roger Goodell, who makes $48 million a year, has a really nice basement.
He should, shouldn't he?
Yes, he should.
Because we were going over this last night. I think it was something like he made about $200 million through 2017 before this new contract.
Oh my gosh.
So total earnings after this contract, he's going to be at something like almost $500 million in total earnings. And it's like everyone beats up on the guy, but it's like, honestly, like, how can you question how well this has gone?
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
can he hire a speech coach?
No, he's not. Yeah, he can't ever. He never.
He's not natural.
What did he say about the Vegas thing? Like he said, like, so we're gonna have the 2020 draft in Las Vegas, and it's like, no, that was this year's.
Yeah.
Like what?
2022.
Yeah, 2022 is I think what he meant. Yeah.
And it's a little clunky to hear the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, it's weird.
To me, that's really strange.
It's weird.
You know, it took a long time to get used to Los Angeles Raiders, then we're back to the Oakland Raiders, and now it's Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Just a weird situation, but I'm sure we'll get used to that as well.
Yeah, it is kind of, it's a little weird. Paducah, Kentucky Raiders coming up. I think in 3 years they're going to be switching, so that's going to be.
Do
weird.
they have the stadium built yet in Paducah?
They're building it now.
Search committee is
all right,
on
good.
it.
All right, Stu, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You can also listen for Stu, of course, on the Glenn Beck program coming up in moments, and then later on, Stu Does America, and I'll be there with you.
Yes,
and we'll discuss the draft again because we love it.
And we love Stu. We love Stu so much that he's also the guest with my conversation on the At the Mic podcast.
Oh my gosh!
So if you haven't gotten enough Stu from this conversation, the Glenn Beck program, and Stu Does America later, spend your weekend with Stu at the mic.
Yeah, we went deep into the history of the show and all the. There's a lot in there. That was a fun,
and that's only part one
conversation.
today. And next week we drop part 2. Lots of information about this guy right here, Stu Bergier.
Okay, thanks, Stu.
Thank you.
All right, 888-900-3393. Yes, Jeffy.
I just want to say I promise Stu will not be on Chewing the Fat.
So Jeffy just assured us that you won't be appearing on his show. Okay.
Thank you, Jeffy. I appreciate that.
Wow.
I really do. I appreciate that. I had Jeffy on the other day, and no reciprocal.
None whatsoever.
None at all.
Wow, that's
so, thanks a lot, Jeffy.
Well, at least things are getting back to normal around here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Here's an interesting question: should Netflix be free right now during the pandemic? Because there is a petition online that has been signed by tens of thousands of people, not millions yet, but tens of thousands. I think there are around 75 or 80,000 people who've signed it and want Netflix not to charge any money until the pandemic's over.
I can't.
It's just silly.
Are you?
I mean, of course you're going to say
kidding?
yes, but
I'm not going to say yes. But they want.
No, I mean, seriously, I've got Quibi 90 days free. I've got
you got
Showtime
good
30
internet
days
hookup for
30
free.
days
I hope.
I figured out a way to get Disney Plus. I finally have Disney Plus for free.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, during this pandemic, I'm saying, yeah, you know what? Now, yes, Netflix should
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Did you get Disney Plus? You didn't get it for free, did you?
Yes, I did.
How did that happen? How'd you get Disney Plus for free?
I cannot tell you on the air.
Seriously?
I will tell you. I will tell you in person. Yeah.
Have you? I don't want to explore this. Have you caught up on Mandalorian?
That's what I got it for.
Yeah, that's about all it's good for. I mean, if you want to watch all the cartoons, animation, that's great. We've kind of been there and done that.
You got HBO Max coming up next month, right? And they're debuting a a bunch of shows.
You're going to get that for free,
Peacock. Too? I'm going to sign up for the first whatever they're giving away for free. Heck yeah, let's have it.
This guy.
I mean, everybody's getting their app, so let's do it for free. No problem.
You're the worst.
He's the worst.
You are the worst. Hey, have you gotten your government check though? Has that come in? No, you haven't gotten that. Okay. That's unfortunate. You're breaking up. Steve Austin. A man barely alive.
Hopefully you're getting your internet for free too.
Yeah, because it's not working very well right now. 888-900-3393. Did you go away completely? Did we lose you, or are you still there somewhere in the distance?
I don't know.
Okay,
you're there.
He's there.
Love you, Jeffy.
I don't know. Yeah, if I'm still here, great. No problem.
Yes, you
it's
are.
Just like, I mean, the Pocatello internet folks need to get in there and hook something faster up for you.
Yeah, and fix something that's been going on.
I know you were talking about the other day that said something that got me thinking that really scared me when you were talking about Michelle Obama becoming, if it was possible that she becomes the vice president nominee with Joe Biden.
It's terrifying.
And I was thinking about that. Do you know that? Think about this. The Obamas could be in the White House for another 16 years.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Well, 12 at least.
Right, because if Biden gets in with Michelle as vice president,
if he makes
it the first term, right, and they keep him alive, put him on oxygen, set him in the back room, keep him there, so he's alive. He runs again.
Okay.
For the second time, right? And then, by the second term, we can take him off oxygen and it's over. Then she could run again and get another 8 after that.
Yes, she could. Yes, she could.
Oh,
or here's another scenario that he wins the election because, Michelle is on the ticket.
Right.
He wins the election and then immediately declares that he's unfit for the job. And she takes over for the first term, then runs for a second, which doesn't count because that will count as her first being elected to the office.
Well,
then
no, because if she serves, so if a vice president becomes president for less than half of the term, okay, then she could run another 8 years in theory. But if
you
she
sure
takes
about this?
Yeah, if she takes over more than half
Like at
that
the
term,
beginning.
yes, then she can only do the 4 after that.
I'm unclear on that.
Okay, I don't know about that one.
I'm unclear
either.
on that.
Okay, do you want me to
even so,
Google this?
so even so, if we put him on oxygen, they're still in the office, right? The Obamas are in the White House.
Yes. Now, if he served 2 terms, then she could go for 2
for that
more.
amount of time and the extra 8. Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, what a nightmare.
That we have to do everything in our power to make that not happen.
Right.
Okay,
Any way you slice it, it's a stinking nightmare.
Here's the summary of the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution. 22nd Amendment of the United States Constitution was an addition, blah, 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 to put a limit. Okay. A person is limited to being elected twice or once if they've already served more than 2 years as president.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So the maximum, in theory, someone could be president of the United States is just about 10 years. Like 9 years and 364 days.
Okay. And is there a possibility that the vice president serves out at least some of Biden's first term? I don't know. You tell me. Here's another awkward interview with Joe Biden, this time with Al Gore.
We're not organizing, and we don't organize the world. Who organizes it? Who organizes it? And so there's so much, I think. Anyway.
Look.
One more question here.
Okay.
Is it too late to address the climate change in a meaningful way?
Is it? I mean, is it too late to
address? Too late to address
the climate change? Is it?
Yes, I'm going to say
so
yes.
It's okay. So we've confirmed that it's too late to address.
Wow, that is something
climate
else.
Change. And poor Al Gore, as somebody pointed out on Twitter yesterday, watch his eyebrows during that because he's just like, "Get there, Joe."
We're not organizing, and we don't organize the world. Who organizes it? Who organizes it? And so there's so much, I think. Anyway, look. One more question here.
He does that all the time.
Is it too late to address the climate change in a meaningful way?
Just go to bed. Is it time to go to bed?
Wow.
Well, Al has endorsed him now, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a done deal.
Every Democrat's endorsed him now. It's meaningless now. What were you going to endorse Trump? I mean, it's silly. It's silly. Wow, Al Gore got behind you?
I think that shows that a lot of big-name Democrats were holding out hope for Bernie. I think that's what that shows.
Quite possible.
And then when he officially quit, now they're like, all right, we'll go behind Joe.
But this is getting to a point where even the Democrats are noticing it now and saying, well, he's got to pick a really good vice president because he may not make it for... and you're going to vote for him anyway?
Right.
What is going on? You people have no shame whatsoever. Play that one more time, because this is amazing at his disintegration level.
We're not organizing, and we don't organize the world. Who organizes it? Who organizes it? And so there's so much, I think... Anyway. Look.
Wow, he does that all the time now.
One more question here.
Wow.
Is it too late to address the climate change in a meaningful way?
And poor Gore is sitting there like, there better be something coherent when you're done talking that I can respond to.
Right. He doesn't know what to do. But, I mean, compare that to this.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Yeah.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
It's the same thing. It's happening to him all the time. He can't get through a thought.
We, the people, we hold these truths, etc. Sounds corny, but it's real.
Sure does sound corny.
When you say it that way, we hold these truths, etc. Whatever, I don't know. That sounded really corny. I know, really sentimental. No, it didn't when you said it that way. Actually, no.
And that's that's why Stacy Abrams and others are swimming like sharks in the water.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Yep.
We should be making it easier, not harder, to make sure to make sense. I'll put it another way. It makes no sense.
See, I mean that's the same thing he just did there with Gore.
And that's a new thing for him.
Yeah.
Big time new thing.
There was a time with Jill when he went through that whole thing, and she's trying to help him. And she's saying, right, and then looking over and trying to offer some sort of lifeline. And there's nothing you can do because he's just disintegrated to the point where you can't help him.
He is effectively the Weekend at Bernie's candidate right now.
Yeah, they've just propped him up in a chair.
And ride this thing out to November and hope for the best.
Despicable what they're doing. And they know, because the Democrats know. I mean, they can see it just like
he's
Weekend. They just don't care.
He's a host body for that party right now and that radical movement. That's all he is.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Jeffy, have a great weekend at home.
Yeah.
Baby.
You know.
Good luck to Amber yet again.
And everyone else, have a great weekend at home as well, because we're all in that boat together. We'll see you Monday here on Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.